In this video, I'm going to share with you the key to accomplishing your goals and achieving the outcomes you want. Welcome to the Coach's Corner, where we share content on breakthrough performance and leadership in sports, business, and life. I'm Mike Van Hoozer. On this week's Monday Morning Moments, we introduced this concept of focusing on the process and talked about that was the key to achieving your goals. And we're going to go into that in a little more detail today on the Coach's Corner and talk to you more about what does that really mean. And I challenged you to think about the process and what does it mean to focus on the process for you. But before we get into the content today, I want to ask you a question. And it's this: which word do you like better? Do you like the word worry, focus, or obsess? And I'm not asking you which one you're doing right now, but I'm asking you which word you like better: worry, focus, or obsess. And I've asked a lot of people those kinds of questions in our workshops and also in coaching one-on-one with athletes and business leaders. And we usually gain consensus on the word focus. Some people are obsessing about things, some people may be worrying about things, but they want to get to that word of focus. And we have a continuum where worry is worrying about circumstances and obsessing is obsessing about outcomes. And so when we think about those words, the way our mind works, the way our brain works, is that we tend to go from one of two extremes. We either go to one end of the continuum and worry about circumstances, and most of the time they're things we can't control, but they're circumstances that are affecting the outcome. Or if we're not worrying about circumstances and things that are happening to us, we're thinking about and obsessing about the outcomes. And there's a fine line between determination and desperation. And I think when we get to a desperate state where we're obsessing about the outcome, we have to have this, and it's beyond determination. What it does is it tends to affect our minds and then affects us physically. It hinders us mentally and then hinders us physically because we start to tense up mentally, obsessing about that outcome. And that's all we think about. And we get to a point to where it's going to hinder us physically as well. And we'll talk about some examples today on that as far as when you're trying to achieve your goals, how this works. But we're either worrying about circumstances or obsessing about outcomes, and we leave out that middle ground of focusing on the process to get to the outcomes that you want. And that's the key to achieving any goal and accomplishing the outcome that you want, focusing on the process. And we call that being outcome-driven and process-focused. And that's what we introduced earlier this week. So we want to be driven by the outcome. If you're trying to achieve a goal, we don't want to lose that will to achieve the goal. So setting a goal, setting a stretch goal, and going out and wanting to crush that goal to achieve that goal is important. So we don't want to lose that strong mental will and force behind being driven by that outcome. But once you've set that goal, the key is then focusing on the process to get there. It's advancing the ball towards your goal and leaving that goal kind of up here as far as this is what I'm striving for. But down here and very practically and tactically, I'm focusing on the process to get there. And again, as we've talked on earlier videos about moments, it could be the moment of this second, this hour, this day, this month, whatever that parameter is, but focusing on the process to do the things that you need to do to achieve that goal. If you think about a basketball player, and we've worked with many teams and many athletes, many basketball players, if they're shooting a free throw, the outcome is making the shot. It's making the free throw. And especially in a pressure situation on game day when maybe there's 5 seconds left and you have to make both free throws to tie the game or to win the game, the key is you want that to happen. But if you sit there and obsess about making the free throw, what can happen is you can press towards being too rigid in that approach, and you get to a point where you either tense up or you feel that pressure and feel that fear of, if I don't make this, we're going to lose, and my teammates are counting on me. So the goal is obviously to make the free throws, but the process in that moment would be bending your knees, following through on the shot, and just making sure that you're doing those things that are going to put the right technique in place to actually make the free throw. And usually we try to simplify that more on just things like follow through. There may be 3 or 4 steps to dribbling the ball, bending your knees, following through on the shot. but maybe follow through is that trust statement that actually is the process that you're trying to do to get to the outcome that you want. I've worked with many golfers, and maybe you're a pro golfer, maybe you're a weekend warrior golfer, but in thinking about playing golf, again, I've had intelligent conversations with a lot of the pro golfers and college golfers and high school even that I've worked with that play competitive golf. We can have a great conversation about the score that's going to win the day at the end of the day. That could be a 72 or it could be a 63 or whatever that score is. But if you're constantly thinking that number, 63, 63, 63 from shot to shot, again, it's going to cause you to tense up. And that's all you're thinking about. And you're forgetting and forsaking even the process to get there. So we get our golfers to focus on playing shot to shot and hole to hole. And that is the key to them achieving that outcome they want, because they get into the same pre-shot routine on every shot. They're fully present physically and mentally, and they're focusing on executing the best shot in that moment. And again, playing shot to get to birdies and pars and the things that are going to allow them to achieve that score of 63. If you think about another example about being in business and maybe you're presenting to a client, at the end of the day, you want that client to, maybe you want to deliver great customer service, or you want to make the sale to that client. And if you're constantly thinking about that, you're going to press in towards things that are unnatural. We call them unnatural things, instead of being yourself and being fully engaged in that. Instead, focusing on the process to get to that outcome might be engaging in conversation, bringing energy and effort to that, smiling. Maybe it's drinking a triple shot mocha before you go into the meeting, and that gets you into sharing that energy and effort, and having a lot of energy and engaging in that conversation. Maybe it's showing empathy and listening well. Those are all process-related things that are going to get you to the outcome that you want. Even in conversations and relationships. So many times I think we want to communicate our point, or we want to achieve an outcome where we get to a resolution in a relationship, but maybe we need to take a step back, and the process to get there is listening well and listening empathically and understanding that person's point of view and having a good dialogue and asking the right questions. The outcome, again, is get to a resolution or restore that relationship. But the key is the process of listening, asking good questions, getting in touch with their feelings and the facts of the situation as well, and then communicating your point from a frame of reference that's heard, understood, received, applied in their life. So focusing on the process is really key. And again, you don't want to take this to another extreme. I've seen some people are very process focused and they don't care about the outcome. And that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about being focused on the process in the context of achieving an outcome that you want. So again, question still remains from this week is, what are those process-related things that you can really devote more time to that are going to help you achieve the outcome you want? And I would, guarantee, or maybe not guarantee like Charles Barkley does on TNT, but I would say that we're pretty sure and pretty confident of the process. If you're focusing on that day in and day out, you're going to get closer and closer to the goals that you want to achieve. And it's really key to identify what those things are and then be driven by that outcome and what you want to achieve as well. And I guarantee this, you will grow in the process. Even if you don't achieve that goal, you will grow through that process and eventually accomplish the outcomes that you do want to achieve. So identify some process-related things that you can focus on this week and going into the next month. And maybe you're training for a race or training for something coming up. Set a goal that you want to accomplish in that, and then daily grow into that by your practices, your training, all of the things that are leading up to that. And stay present, be present in those daily training routines and focus on the key things, those key process-related things that are going to help you grow, achieve daily goals, and then ultimately achieve the goal that you're trying to accomplish. If we can help you in any way in doing this, we love coaching people and love coaching athletes and business leaders, and crosses those dimensions of sports, business, and life. So if we can do anything to help you and help you with those goals, let us know. You can contact us on our website. We'll put a link in the description. And again, our website is www.mikevanhoozer.com if you're listening to this on the podcast as well. But wherever you consume this content, whether it's on the audio podcast or on our YouTube channel, we'd really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. It really helps out the channel. Like this, share this with people you think might benefit from it as well, and leave a comment about questions you may have, or how you're focusing on the process, and maybe 1 or 2 goals that you're trying to accomplish this year as well. Make it a great rest of the week, and make the most of the moments in your life.